So here's some tools to help you create your otakus and sell your message. And I like to call it the rule of 3 principle. So the first rule of 3, and now I'll use it as safety meetings, but you can use this in anything that you want to share your message with. I'm just going to say safety meetings because it's a pretty industry standard language in here. So if you're going to have a safety meeting, please do not have your safety meeting go over 30 minutes. You'll learn later on why that's a less desirable thing. Safety meetings, maximum 30 minutes in length. Before the safety meeting, let's say you do a safety meeting quarterly. Every week, roll out a 30-second commercial or a 30-second advisory. I'll show you how to create those. But inside your advisory, there's a 3-second hook. And sorry, looking around the room, it was you that were talking to me about the knife, correct? Tell me that 3-second hook.
The tagline?
Yeah.
A falling knife has no handle.
So he had a chef mentor him about what to do, and if you drop a knife, he said a falling knife has no handle. That's what we would call a 3-second hook. Excellent hook. We can all remember it. It's a great segue to probably a 30-minute safety presentation about knives in the workplace, but it's a great hook. I guarantee you I could play the da-da-da. Who's that? McDonald's, right? We all know 3-second hooks. The last presentation I did, I played the 3-second intro to Seinfeld, and everybody laughed because they all knew what it was. So there's your marketing. You make 30-second commercials. Inside that commercial, you make a 3-second hook, which lines you up for your 30-minute TV show. And this is specifically designed to how we learn, and it's being used by all of the giants. They all have 3-second hooks, and it works phenomenally well. If it didn't work, they wouldn't do it. If Just Do It didn't remind us of Nike, they wouldn't be wasting their time and energy on it. And like I said, I played a little 3-second hook of Seinfeld, and everyone knew that it was Seinfeld. So when you look at it as far as TV goes, when you're watching TV, you get all these 30-second commercials telling you what's coming up. And then you have your 30-minute TV show that you really enjoy because you were programmed by your commercials. The next thing you need to do is when you follow the rule of 3, after that, you have to understand it's about me. And not me as a provider, me as a client. If it doesn't have me mail, people don't care. I could be talking to scaffolders about blanking and blinding piping, waste of time. It means nothing to them. So when you want to deliver a message, figure out the group that you have and make sure it is relevant to them. If you're not a Ford person and you see a Ford commercial, you adamantly ignore it anyway, right? Even though Fords are better, but I'm just saying. Make sure anyone can deliver the message. The messages that we send out into our field are well scripted so anyone could read them. It takes a lot of anxiety away from people sharing your message if it's well scripted. And also on top of that, it ensures that the message goes to the field properly because a lot of times there's a dramatic disconnect between the message management wants to give and tries to feed down the food chain to what happens out in the field. So if it's well scripted and well organized, it gets to the field perfectly. Avoid your language. So in the safety industry, the word intervention is actually a very positive word, right? Someone's doing something dangerous, we walk up there and we intervene. We had a lot of occurrences happening on one project where people weren't intervening. And it was actually a coworker that was like, maybe that word sucks, because he had taken my presentations and he was listening. So I went online, I belong to an online forum of instructors, and I was like, hey, what does the word intervention mean to you? And the majority of them aren't safety people. And they came back as to stop, to delay, and the majority of them said a shitty reality show. So that's the language we're using out in the field. Outside of my world, where I think intervention's a good word, now this word was bad or less desirable. So we changed our message, the way we sent it out in a safety meeting, stop and talk. If you perceive that something may be dangerous, because if I'm not into hoisting and rigging, I don't know if that's the right way or not, but if we perceive it may be dangerous, walk up, extend your hand, shake the person's hand, and say, hi, my name is John. I've never seen that done that way before. Is that the right, tell me about it. And it causes dialogue and it causes a relationship. This person may be like, ooh, hey, you're right, we are totally screwing that up. Or they may educate you being like, no, this is the right way, we're swinging that load into place. You've just built a relationship and you're off to the races. We saw a huge interaction on the site the moment we stopped using this word. Because we would say, well, you need to go intervene. People don't want to intervene. Why? Because we want to fit in. Going right back to that subconscious programming of fitting in. All right. I move off. I'm in the safety world. And I attend a safety meeting. And one thing you have to understand about my brain is I look for inefficiency. To the point I drive my wife nuts. I prefer creamed honey compared to liquid honey because creamed honey spreads better and saves me time. So that's the way my brain works. But when I go out into any project, I look for inefficiency, keeping in mind that production, safety, and quality are all the same to me. If one of these fails, I fail. The moment they're all symbiotic. If production starts to fail, people take shortcuts, safety hurts. So I look at all three, I want to help all three. So I attended a general safety meeting, which was at least an hour, 500 workers in a huge Quonset hut that had been working and then come in. So they're wearing their, at that time it was winter time, so they're wearing their cold weather gear and they come into a warm Quonset hut. Everyone can see where this is going. So I watched this 1 hour presentation, and I'm a safety guy. I like safety. I would have rather chewed on tinfoil than participated in that event. Immediately I was like, this is not efficient. 1 hour, people are sleeping, people are on their phones, nobody cares. This is a waste of time. So I did some number crunching. For the size of the workforce, the team that I was with spent about $4.8 million a year in personal hours, getting all those people together for that 1 hour increment. This is the way I sell safety, by the way, is on workable hours. You just do your math on workable hours, and then suddenly when you go to your boss and say, hey, do you know that we're spending almost $5 million a year on workable hours on safety meetings, and I can save you some money. So this one was 4,000 workers, $100 an hour annual rate, 1 meeting a month, 12 hours a year. I reduced that from 60 minutes or 1 hour to 30 minutes. Saved about $2.4 million in the first year on workable hours. And the best part is the and. The workers started coming up asking when the next safety meeting was. Why? It was a pink cow. They never sat down for a general safety meeting that was less than an hour, let alone 30 minutes. Should have seen their faces after I was done presenting, being like, any questions? And they're like, no. Okay, see ya. Just the early finish was a pink cow to them. They were so happy. It also increased our time on tools, which made the production manager happy. So when I came up with the next initiative, do you think he wanted that? Yeah. Saving him time on tools, what part of that segment is that? Email. I'm not talking safety to him, I'm talking production to him. And out of that meeting, we started to get otakus. And it was pretty interesting to see because we had a lot of caution tape wrapped above headbangers on scaffolding, which works all right, but we see it all the time. And then we just saw this random thing out there. And when I walked up, I saw it with another safety guy, and he's quite regimented. And he's like, it's not approved. I'm like, oh, you don't touch that. Because first of all, it made us look at this headbanger, so it's working. Second of all, I was like, we have an otaku. Somewhere around here, this guy took the time to print this out and is now putting it everywhere where you can bang your head. And it's making people pay attention.